Lizzie adjusted the straps of her colorful backpack and smiled nervously at the camera. Hi everyone, I'm Lizzie. Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamed of traveling the world, exploring new places and meeting new people. But there's one thing that always made me hesitate: my English. She let out a small laugh, brushing a strand of hair out of her face. She gestured to the bustling airport around her. And now, here I am about to take my first solo international trip. Scary, right? Everything here is written in English. The announcements, the signs, even the menus. Lizzie looked into the distance as an announcement echoed. Flight 231 to New York is now boarding. She frowned playfully. See? That's what I mean. She held up her boarding pass. But I'm not letting that stop me. I want to show you how you can learn English step by step through my travel adventures. Today, we'll focus on words and phrases that are super helpful when you're at the airport. Lizzie adjusted the camera and gave a thumbs up. So, if you're ready, let's go. Oh, and don't forget turn on subtitles if you need them, and practice speaking with me. Repeating words and sentences out loud will help you improve your pronunciation. As she started walking, the camera panned to the airport around her. Travelers hurried by, rolling suitcases and checking phones. The airport can feel overwhelming, Lizzie said. It's big, noisy, and full of signs. But don't worry, we're in this together. She approached a large sign that read, "Check-in, Security, Gates." Pointing to it, she explained, "Here's a good place to start. Check-in means the place where you show your ticket and give your luggage. Security is where they check your bags and scan you. And gates are where you wait to board your flight." Lizzie paused and turned back to the camera. "Repeat after me. Check-in, security, gates." Great. These are some of the most important words you'll need today. And trust me, we'll see them again very soon. With a confident nod, she took a deep breath. All right, it's time for the adventure to begin. Let's head to the check-in counter. Wish me luck. Lizzie adjusted her grip on her backpack straps and walked toward the check-in counter. She could feel her heart pounding as the reality of the moment hit her. "Okay," she said to the camera with a nervous laugh. "This is it, my first real test of using English in the airport. Let's see how I do." She joined the line and watched as other travelers approached the counter, handed over their documents, and exchanged a few words with the staff. As she got closer, her eyes darted to the signs above the counters. One read, "Check-in for international flights." Lizzie whispered to herself, "International flights? That's me." She repeated the words softly. International means between countries. I'm traveling from my country to another, so it's an international flight. When it was her turn, she stepped up to the counter and gave the staff member a polite smile. "Hello," she said, her voice a little shaky. Check in for New York? The attendant smiled back. Sure. Can I have your passport and ticket, please? Lizzie fumbled with her backpack and pulled out her passport and boarding pass. As she handed them over, she whispered to the camera, "Remember this. Passport is your travel document, and boarding pass is the ticket you need to get on the plane." The attendant typed something on their computer and handed her a small paper. "Here you go," they said. "This is your new boarding pass. Your flight leaves from Gate 5. Go through security and follow the signs." Lizzie stared at the paper, slightly overwhelmed. "Gate 5," she repeated. "Thank you." As she walked away from the counter, she spoke directly to the camera. "Okay, let's break that down. The word gate means the area where you wait to board your flight. Each flight has its own gate number, so it's important to remember it. Say it with me. Gate." She paused, letting viewers repeat the word. Lizzie glanced at a large overhead sign that read, "Security check," with arrows pointing ahead. "Next stop, security," she announced. She joined the security line where passengers were busy taking off shoes, placing laptops in trays, and walking through metal detectors. Lizzie looked a little worried. This part can feel a bit stressful, but it's okay. Let's learn some useful words while we wait. For example, tray is the plastic container where you put your stuff, and metal detector is the machine you walk through to check for anything metal. After placing her backpack in a tray and walking through the scanner, Lizzie retrieved her belongings and gave a thumbs up to the camera. "I survived security. Now, let's find Gate 5. She followed the signs, pausing at another large map of the terminal. "Let's review," she said. "The signs show you directions like straight for forward, left, and right. Repeat after me. Straight, left, right. These words will help you find your way." Lizzie pointed to an escalator ahead. "And that," she said, "is an escalator, which is like stairs that move. It's super helpful when you're carrying heavy luggage. Let's practice. Escalator." Reaching the top of the escalator, she turned to the camera and grinned. "Almost there. Gate 5, here I come." As she approached the gate, Lizzie paused to take in her surroundings. "This has been an adventure already, and we're only just starting," she said. "I'll meet you at the gate, where we'll review everything we've learned so far." Lizzie arrived at the terminal's central area, where multiple signs pointed in every direction. She looked around, searching for Gate 5. "All right," she said, slightly flustered. "This is when things get tricky. There are so many signs. Let's figure this out together." She focused on a large board with the words "flight information." It listed flight numbers, destinations, and gate numbers. Lizzie pointed to the camera. "This board is super important. It tells you where your flight is. Look, here's my flight 231 to New York. It says Gate 5. Perfect." She looked for an arrow pointing to gate 5 but didn't immediately spot one. Turning to the camera, she sighed. This is the part where I might need to ask for help. It's okay to feel a little lost. It happens to everyone. Spotting a friendly-looking staff member near a kiosk, Lizzie took a deep breath and approached them. "Excuse me," she said, her voice steady this time. "Where is gate 5? The staff member smiled warmly. "Go straight down this hallway, then turn left. Gate 5 will be on your right." Lizzie nodded enthusiastically. "Thank you so much." She turned back to the camera and said, "Okay, let's break that down. Go straight means walk forward. Turn left means go to your left side, and on your right means the gate will be on the right-hand side. Easy, right? Let's say it together. Go straight, turn left, on your right." She started walking, repeating the instructions out loud. "Straight, left, right. I got this." As she followed the directions, Lizzie passed by shops and cafes, pointing out key vocabulary along the way. "Look at these signs," she said. "Here's one for a cafe where you can buy coffee. And there's a restroom sign, very important. Oh, and this one says exit. That's how you leave the terminal." The camera showed Lizzie pausing at a hallway split. She glanced at another sign pointing left. "Okay, here we go, turning left, and gate 5 should be close now." Suddenly she stopped, looking puzzled. "Wait, did I take the wrong turn?" She glanced around, her confidence wavering slightly. Sometimes this happens, and it's totally fine. When in doubt, ask for help again. She spotted another traveler nearby and approached them. "Excuse me, where is gate 5? She asked politely. The traveler, a man with a suitcase, replied, "It's just down this way. Keep going straight, and you'll see it." Lizzie smiled, relieved. "Thank you." Turning back to the camera, she laughed. "See? Asking twice is no big deal. The important thing is to stay calm and keep trying." Finally, she spotted the sign for gate 5 and sighed in relief. "There it is, gate 5. I made it." She walked up to the seating area, her energy returning. "This has been quite the journey already, right? But we've learned so much together." She pointed to the gate sign and said, "Let's do a quick review. When you're lost, you can ask, 'Excuse me, where is?' Then listen for words like straight, left, right. It's that simple." Settling into a chair near the gate, Lizzie smiled warmly at the camera. "All right, take a deep breath. We've made it to the gate, and now we're ready for the next part of the adventure. Let's review and learn even more in a bit." Lizzie leaned back in her chair, her backpack resting by her feet. She looked at the camera with a mix of relief and excitement. "Whew! We made it to gate 5. That wasn't so bad, was it? But let's take a moment to talk about what just happened and how much we learned." She held up her new boarding pass. "First, let's go over some of the words we've picked up today. This is your boarding pass. You need it to show the staff before you can get on the plane. Say it with me, boarding pass. Lizzie paused to let the viewers repeat, then continued. Next, remember the word gate? It's where you wait to board your flight. Each flight has a specific gate number, so make sure to check yours. For example, mine is gate 5. What's your gate number? Imagine it and say it out loud. She gestured to the bustling terminal behind her. We also learned some important phrases for asking directions. The key one is, "Excuse me, where is?" This is super polite and helpful when you're lost or need information. Let's practice together. Excuse me, where is gate 5? Lizzie smiled, encouraging her audience. Great. Now let's break down the answers I got. First, the staff member said, "Go straight, turn left, and it will be on your right." Let's focus on those directions. Straight means forward. Left means to the left side, and on your right means to your right side. Simple, right? She gestured to a sign nearby that pointed to other gates. Signs like these can also help you when you're navigating a big place like an airport. Look for words like exit if you're leaving, restroom if you need the bathroom, and cafe if you're hungry. Let's say those together: exit, restroom, cafe. Lizzie leaned forward, her tone becoming more reflective. You know, when I first arrived here, I felt so nervous about speaking English. But asking for help isn't something to be afraid of. Everyone gets lost or confused sometimes, and most people are happy to help if you ask politely. Learning these phrases gave me the confidence to keep going. She paused, looking directly into the camera. And that's the real lesson here. You don't need to be perfect at English to communicate. Even if you make mistakes, as long as you try, people will understand you. So don't be afraid to speak up. Lizzie clapped her hands together, her excitement returning. All right. Now it's your turn. What would you say if you needed to find your gate? Practice this. Excuse me, where is gate? And add your own number. For example, gate 12. Go ahead, give it a try. After a moment, Lizzie nodded with approval. Awesome, you're doing great. Just remember to stay calm and take it one step at a time. We've made it through the airport challenge, and now it's time to relax before the flight. She glanced at her boarding pass again and smiled. Up next, we'll explore what happens after you've found your gate, so stick around for more tips and adventures. See you soon. Lizzie leaned forward, resting her arms on her knees. All right, everyone, she said with a bright smile. Now that we've made it to the gate, it's time to put everything we've learned into practice. I want you to imagine that you're at the airport too. Let's run through some situations together. Are you ready? She held up her boarding pass again. First scenario, you've just arrived at the airport and you don't know where to check in. What do you say? Lizzie paused for a moment, giving viewers time to think. Then she added, "Let's practice together. Excuse me, where is the check-in counter? Say it with me." After repeating the phrase, Lizzie nodded encouragingly. "Great! Now imagine the staff member says, 'It's straight ahead, near security.' What does that mean?" Let's break it down. Straight ahead means forward, and near security means close to the area where they check your bags. She leaned back in her chair, gesturing to the terminal around her. "Let's try another one. This time you need to find the restroom. What would you ask?" Lizzie cupped her hand around her ear, pretending to listen. "Yes, that's right. Excuse me, where is the restroom?" She pointed to a nearby sign that had an arrow and the word restrooms on it. The person might say, "It's to the left, next to the cafe." So let's practice that. To the left means go to your left side, and next to means beside something else. Lizzie stood up, pacing a little to simulate walking through the terminal. "Now, let's make it a bit more fun. Imagine you've lost your way to Gate 7. What do? Here's your chance to practice. Excuse me, where is Gate 7? She paused, letting viewers repeat after her. "Great job!" she exclaimed. Now let's imagine the answer. The person says, "Go straight, then turn right," and you'll see it on your left. Let's repeat those directions together. Go straight, turn right on your left. Lizzie paused to sit back down, her tone becoming more playful. "Okay, one last scenario. You're really hungry and you see a cafe. What would you say if you wanted to ask what kind of food they have?" She grinned and offered a sample. "Excuse me, what food do you have?" She mimicked a response, pretending to be a cafe worker. "We have sandwiches, salads, and coffee." Lizzie turned to the camera. "See how easy that is? You can use 'what do you have' for food, drinks, or even when shopping for souvenirs." She clapped her hands together, signaling the end of the practice session. "You've done amazing!" Practicing these phrases over and over helps build confidence, and soon you'll be ready for any travel situation. Lizzie leaned forward, her tone becoming more reflective. "Remember, it's okay to feel nervous at first. The key is to stay calm and keep trying. Everyone you meet is learning something too. It's all part of the journey." To wrap things up, Lizzie proposed a mini challenge. Here's your task. In the comments below, write a short sentence about what you would ask at the airport. For example, "Excuse me, where is Gate 12?" Or "Where is the restroom?" I'll check your answers and cheer you on. She glanced at her watch and smiled. We've covered so much today, and I'm so proud of you. Next, we'll talk about what to do once you board the plane, so stick around for more adventures. With a confident wave, Lizzie leaned back in her chair. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next chapter of our journey. Lizzie leaned back in her chair, taking a deep breath. She looked at the camera with a warm smile. Wow, what a day! We've learned so much together, and I'm so proud of how far we've come. She held up her boarding pass one last time. Think about it, just a little while ago, we were at the check-in counter, learning words like boarding pass, gate, and security. Now, we've practiced asking for directions, following signs, and even how to find food or a restroom in the airport. That's a lot for one trip. Lizzie gestured to the bustling terminal behind her. The airport can feel overwhelming, but today, you proved that you can handle it. All it takes is learning a few key phrases, practicing them out loud, and having the courage to ask for help when you need it. She leaned forward, her voice filled with encouragement. Remember, the phrases we learned today, excuse me, where is, you and leather situations too. These are the building blocks of your English journey. Lizzie's tone softened as she spoke directly to the audience. The most important thing I've learned is that you don't have to be perfect to communicate. The effort you put into trying means so much more than getting every word right. People will appreciate your courage, and every small success will build your confidence. She picked up her backpack, preparing to leave her seat. So what's next? Well, next time we'll board the plane together and learn how to ask for things in English during the flight, like water, food, or even a blanket. Standing up, she gave a final smile to the camera. Until then, keep practicing. Go back and repeat the phrases we learned today. Use them in your own life, even if it's just in front of the mirror. And don't forget to leave a comment with your own practice sentence. I'd love to see how you're doing. Lizzie turned toward the gate, her voice full of optimism as she walked away. Every step you take in learning English is a step toward making your dreams come true. You're doing amazing, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes you. With a wave, she added one final thought. Remember, you've got this. See you in the next adventure.